All right, we're sitting here with one of the most requested people here on Appalachian Expose. Had to pick up the phone and call to my friends. I got Mike Jones, aka Virgil, here with us. One of the iconic names and faces that was in WWF whenever it made its huge run. So let's get ahead. I mean, we were just talking before the camera started rolling. You fans have let us know that it's not the franchise and Virgil you want to hear. You want to hear Troy Martin talking to Mike Jones.
Yeah.
And to look behind the scenes. Because you fans have already gotten enough of us, right? The character.
Right.
You've seen plenty of the franchise. You've seen plenty of Virgil. Now you want to hear Troy Martin talking to his friend.
Yeah, Mike Jones, right.
So with that, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Monroeville, Pennsylvania.
So my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit further north, but in the wrestling business, a stone's throw.
And I had to catch a bus every day, Shane, all the way down to Oakland.
To
go to Central Catholic in Oakland.
You went to Central Catholic?
Yeah.
Were you there when Cody Michaels was there? Mark Keenan?
No.
Duck Keenan? What was Duck's real name? Don Keenan.
No.
Don Keenan would be 2 or 3 years older, so he'd be like early 60s. Mark Keenan was my age. Cody Michaels, late 50s.
Maybe.
How about Dan Marino? Was Dan Marino there when you were there?
Yeah, he's my quarterback.
So what year did you go to Central Catholic?
When I was at Central Catholic, I graduated there. Danny's my quarterback.
Yeah.
When I was a freshman.
So you were a freshman.
Uh-huh.
And what year did he come into the league? Was it 82?
Yeah.
He went into the pros 82, 83?
83.
So I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that Virgil, Mike Jones,
Mike Jones, right.
went to a Catholic school,
right.
a pretty prestigious school in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Mo man, he made me, look, Monroeville High School was only like about maybe...
Gateway.
The Gateway.
Yeah, Gateway High School.
About a mile from it.
Yeah.
Mo man made me catch a bus every morning and take my ass all the way down to Central Catholic.
Yeah. Now, I when you and I and Dominic were on the road a couple of years ago, you and I had talked extensively about your dad.
Right.
Stuff that I had never known before. So tell the fans about Mike Jones' dad.
Okay, Mike Jones' dad was beginning of the Navy SEALs. They were called frogmen.
Yeah.
He was in World War II. Old man showed me how to shoot a big ass 30-30 long range, hit you right between the eyes.
Yeah.
But he showed me how to rumble in the jungle.
That generation, your dad and my dad, World War II vets, they truly were the greatest generation.
Right.
I say it all the time. I think I'm a tough guy. Maybe not as tough as I used to be, but you know, I prided myself on being a good athlete and a pretty tough guy.
Right.
I wasn't a pimp on my dad's ass.
No,
he was a real man.
Right. My old man was a real man.
Real man. Yeah.
And then both my brothers were real men.
Yeah.
Both of them were Navy SEALs.
Is that right?
Right. I went to visit Annapolis, and my old man heard it.
So what the hell happened with you?
Oh, no,
family of Navy SEALs.
No, my old man looked at me. He said, "What the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be a SEAL. So get your ass out of here."
My dad.
He smacked me. He smacked me all the way across the room.
I was the only boy in the family, right? So my dad reminded me all the time, you're the only one that can carry on the name.
Right.
So if you ever get drafted, you let them know because you can't go to the front line. And he did not want me joining the military.
No, right.
And I was, in hindsight, thought that odd because, A, my dad was incredibly proud of what they'd accomplished in World War II.
Yeah.
He spent an additional 19 years in the reserves. I think he never said, but I think he worked on the railroad. I think moving the ICBMs around on the rails.
Yeah.
But when he died, I learned things about my dad. I'd known my dad since I was born. Never once told me that he had earned a Silver Star and 2 Bronze Stars. And I didn't know what those meant until a friend of mine that served in the military said, "Man, your dad was a hell of a soldier."
Yeah.
Never told me that. But even odder was that my dad, I didn't even know my dad graduated high school because I figured in the 20s like that, early 30s, he probably went and got a job in a steel mill or on the railroad or whatever. He graduated from Munhall High School. He lettered, there was a Letterman sweater in there. He lettered 4 years in wrestling.
Right.
And never told his son that's a professional wrestler that he wrestled amateur in high school.
Hey, I went to amateur wrestling.
Yeah.
when I was in 10th grade.
Yeah.
I made 4 state titles. And I didn't know my old man was a badass fucking Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Never told you.
Never told me.
See, what is it about it? I think it's not a condescending thing or a criticism.
Right. Never
Those
told
men
me.
in World War II, they experienced real horror.
Horror.
I mean, every day.
Yeah, man.
And I think to survive, they packed it in a box and shoved it way in the back of their head and moved on with their life.
They didn't even bring it up.
And they didn't want you to be part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
My 2 older brothers never brought it up, Shane. They never brought it up they're going to be Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Incredible. Incredible, really. They're not sharing that with the family.
They didn't bring it up at all.
Yeah.
And the 2 of them went to visit Annapolis.
Yeah.
I went to visit Annapolis, and they see me take down 13 Marines. They said, "Fuck, you're a tough ass fucking Jones."
Yeah. So
you're like your old man, ain't you?
So, but what was it with that upbringing? Heavy influence of the military, attending a Catholic high school, a prestigious Catholic high school in Pittsburgh. Where did wrestling come into this figure?
I don't know.
Where did wrestling pop in?
I think it came really in my head when I was a freshman at I was down in Monroeville, and that's where I went all the way down to Oakland, go to high school.
Yeah.
I said, why not go into wrestling?
Were you a fan of the business at that time? Like, did you grow up a fan of wrestling because of being in Pittsburgh, or was it more something introduced you later?
No, I mean, I just wanted to try it, Shane.
Yeah.
I just wanted to try that motherfucker and see if I could really do something with it.
Yeah.
And I rolled with it,
Made
man.
something with it, yeah.
I kept on rolling with it, man.
Pittsburgh was a great place to break into wrestling because we had Bruno, we had Dominic, Disco. There were a lot, like Mike Cicluna lived locally. There were a lot of guys that lived in the Pittsburgh area. I didn't know as a kid, but would later find out that wrestling, I always tell people in Pittsburgh, before the Penguins got good, they still wore the blue and white.
Right.
And they were horrible. We had the Pirates that won the series in '79. We had the Steelers that won the Super Bowl all the time. And we had Bruno Sammartino. So those of us that grew up in Pittsburgh, we were steeped in wrestling. Studio wrestling, WIIC.
Yeah. I never heard about the studio wrestling until a guy came around me named Tony Atlas.
Yeah.
And then Tony introduced me to Rick Martel.
Yeah.
And he introduced me to Tito Santana. And them 3 guys, man, they helped me out in this fucking business. Every time I see Tito, tears come to his eyes, you mean?
Yeah.
You see him when I see him today, right?
Yeah.
He was stuttering my name out right there, you mean?
I just told Tito, I was interviewing him before we did this interview, I said, I wanted to thank him because, when you're a kid,
man,
walking into that dressing room, Hogan and Piper and Orndorff and all these incredible wrestlers. It's intimidating when you're a young kid. And Tito always made you feel comfortable. Hey kid, how you doing today? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, that was a good match. And it made you feel part of the team.
He talks to like Hulk and them for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hulk said, man, you see that punch pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And I remember I said, off the secret showed me how to make that punch in there, right? You know?
With, back then especially, very unlike today for you viewers watching at home on Appalachian Expose, very different in the sense that you can get online, you can call an office and get a hold of somebody. Back then, there was no phone number.
There was no phone number to call nobody.
There was no way to get a hold of Dominic. I didn't know Dominic lived in the area.
Well, you couldn't get a hold of no one.
Yeah, there was no, hey, sign up here for wrestling.
No.
So like for me, it happened in meeting Dominic in that backyard wrestling show we had in 1978. Had I not met Dominic, I would never have been introduced to the business.
Hey, if I never would have met Officer Sika. When Sika couldn't speak no English. All thing you know, I'll put his foot up in your ass. I mean, he had a big ass foot too. It's about size 15. Goes right up in your ass. And y'all see all the time that he smack Rikishi's ass around.
What was it about wrestling though that lured you in? 'Cause when I look at it, I think to myself,
like it,
there's,
man.
well, we all, but there's millions of fans that love wrestling,
Yeah.
right? Every year we watch WrestleMania, hundreds of thousands of people tune in. Everyone we're at conventions, there's thousands of people at. What is it that in our heads we decided we can give this a try?
No, I like
To
it.
have that much hubris and think we're good enough to get in.
No, I liked it because it made you a real motherfucking man.
Yeah, I mean,
It made you a man.
Yeah, the throat of cheese
Okay,
up.
when you throw a punch and you look like you took someone's goddamn head off,
Yeah,
that's a good punch.
yeah, but it's supposed to be a work.
Yeah, it's a work.
You know, it's I can go to any bar and pay somebody $100 and hey, go punch
Yeah.
Virgil in the face.
Yeah.
That's not working.
Yeah.
That's not a
But
talent.
why not? A talent is when you ain't knocking someone's teeth out every night.
Right.
Every night, you know what I'm saying? Every night.
In your career, first of all, how long? What was your rookie season?
My rookie season was in the WWF.
What year?
My rookie season was 1987.
Okay, 87, so 97, 2007, 17. We're talking about 36 years? Yeah, 36 years in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
Why, how do I word this? In wrestling, there's up years, there's down years, good years, bad years, horrible years. A lot of good, a lot of bad. It really is the yin and yang of life. Why did at no point along that line, when you started realizing you're on the downside of your career, like my star years are behind me, why then did you go out and segue to another career or do something else? What was it about wrestling that kept you in?
I just liked it, man. I liked it where like you can break your foot on someone's ass and look like you fucked him real up, and you really didn't fuck him up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For me, it was the camaraderie. I had grown up into the business listening to Bruno and Dominic tell these stories.
Oh, yeah.
And I had never seen that business until ACW. And then, I look back, and let's face it, we all see a lot of crappy stuff in the wrestling business. But I still, after 40 years, I still have a sense of incredible wonderment to the business. I had taught school for 7 years. I was accepted to medical school, like an idiot didn't go. But I think ultimately the answer is, as much as I would have loved being an orthopedic surgeon, I'd have made a damn good one, as good of a teacher as I was, I loved wrestling just a little bit more.
Hey, Shane,
It's a magic business.
I was a teacher too.
Yeah.
I taught trigonometry, geometry, statistics, but I always, when I broke in with offense seeker, Tito helped me,
Yeah.
Rick Martel helped me. I loved the wrestling business.
Let's get back to your dad for a second. 'Cause I know from the conversation we had with Dominic on the way to New York
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
My old man was
Your dad obviously had a profound impact on your life.
always, man. He was
Disciplinarian?
but he didn't bullshit around.
Yeah, you didn't fuck around, right?
Didn't bullshit around, right?
Dad spoke once.
Oh yeah, spoke once, and
you
next
better-
thing you have a foot up your ass
Yeah.
or a fist in your mouth.
Yeah.
Now which one you want? The foot in the ass or the
Yeah.
fist in the mouth?
A lot easier to go along.
Right,
Just do what you're told.
right. Do what you're told, goddammit.
But looking back on your dad, this is a stupid question, but it needs to be said, especially because the change in the world we've seen.
Yeah.
Did you ever think your dad was being mean to you?
No,
Because he loved you.
he loved me.
There you go.
He loved me.
Cared for you.
He wanted.
Worried about your future.
Yeah, right here, your brain.
Yeah.
Get your brain going.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, get it moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
My experience, I've never met your dad. I know the man your dad was because my dad was the
Yeah.
same guy. Honest.
Right.
Didn't accept bullshit.
The bullshit.
Don't
Right.
come here bullshit me.
Don't be with that crap.
My dad used to say, when you're wrong and you know you're wrong, man up and admit you're wrong.
Right.
Then he would say, when you're right, not you think you're right, you know you're right,
When you know you're right.
don't acquiesce because truth takes a hit.
Because and sometimes, Shane, he would smack your ass across the goddamn room.
But you deserved it, didn't you?
Right.
You asked for
Okay.
it.
If you didn't deserve it, old man say,
Yeah.
come over,
Well,
take my ball head, just rub it like
see,
that.
I think today, like, kids think when they hear these stories,
Right.
I think they think in terms of abuse, like, oh my God, your dad smacked you around.
No,
Your dad-
no,
No,
You got to think,
he disciplined you.
that's all.
Yeah, he was breaking the wild stallion.
Yeah. Breaking all that bullshit off of you.
Yeah, be a man.
Be a man.
Yeah, yeah. And that is, I think a valuable thing, especially coming into this business that requires a boatload of discipline to make your shots on time, to not show up screwed up, whatever. As we see a lot of people that do that stuff. But our parents knew from their world experience and their experience as men living in the world that nobody out there gives a rat's ass for you. Nobody out there's going to come knock on the door and say, here's $1 million, take it easy for the next couple of years. You either have the wherewithal to make it in that world, or you don't. And if you don't, the world's going to chew you up. And that's what I always took away from my dad. He was a very loving dad, but loving, how do I say it? He adored his kids. But my dad's generation, I think your dad's generation, same thing. The way that they've been brought up, you don't talk about yourself, that's bragging.
Right.
You don't worry about what the neighbors have, you worry about your own.
You worry about yourself.
Yeah, and that whole like worldly view that was, it's so tight in, like this is ours, you treat your neighbors with respect and get respect back. All these little adages we've heard from our dads. Because I'm guessing that, we hear so much today about racism and all this stuff being ramped up. I have no doubt your dad being a World War II vet
Yeah.
saw more than his share of bald-faced racism.
Right.
That-
Both my brothers were Vietnam.
Yeah, yeah,
And the only one wasn't in was me, Shane.
yeah.
I'm the only one that didn't go to
Are you the youngest?
Vietnam. I'm the youngest, right.
Yeah. So you're
Okay.
they don't want you to miss.
They didn't want me, I didn't want, my old man didn't want me to be the one
Right.
that got a bullet in the head.
Sure. Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Both my brothers were like
Yeah.
Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
My old man was beginning the Navy SEALs. They were called frogmen then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? When I went to visit Annapolis, I seen how my old man was. When I got back, they rang him immediately. He smacked my ass, Shane. I was bouncing off that mirror back over here. Oh, he said, you ain't gonna be a fucking SEAL?
Yeah.
So don't even think about it.
Yeah. And I'm sure again, based on what he saw,
Yeah, right. Because he said,
war's hell.
yeah, he said war and Vietnam is hell.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, we got 3 out of 3 home
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
You never give
The odds
4
are
home.
the odds are against you.
Right.
Getting 100% out of 4.
So he said, you're gonna take your ass to college.
Do something else.
You're
Yeah.
gonna do something else.
Yeah.
And I
Well, having that background, I'm curious, having that background and having a father that was
Yeah.
strict and disciplined like that, not wanting you to go to the military,
Uh-huh.
at some point in the business, did it ever like come into your brain, okay, I can still make an okay living at this, but I'm really having to slog to do it. Maybe it's time to use my degree.
I used my degree, Shane. I went and taught in Oakland. I taught at Central Catholic High School in Oakland. Okay, and I coached when I was there down there too.
Yeah.
Coached wrestling.
Enjoy it?
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool down there, man.
So why not have gone back to that? Let's face it, no bumps, not traveling all 1,000,000 miles a year and doing all
I
that.
mean, like, it was cool doing that, but I get down and it grabs you by the balls
Yeah.
and lifts you back up.
Yeah.
Why not keep on going? You know around the world,
Yeah.
so why not keep on doing it?
Yeah. It's hard to explain to people on the outside. My family doesn't get it. They know that I spent a good portion of my adult life
Yeah.
being educated, and I consider myself an intellect as far as government and things, and a daily view of this stuff and try to make sense of it. And I think they saw a passion there, for government and civics, but ultimately I kept staying in wrestling, and I always found it odd that people would say, why are you still doing that? I mean, after all, you're a teacher, you went to medical school, as if somehow this was a step down, like I'm slumming it because I'm a wrestler. And I still have a sense of wonderment to the business. And the young kid that came into the business, wide-eyed, and oh my God, how do I get in this dress with Bruno and Harley and all these stars I grew up with, Dominic. That there is a segment out there that believes that this is some way a step down, and I never saw it as a step down. We are known around the world in the field that we chose.
Around the world.
There are many people that get to live that life.
Yeah. How many guys are known around the world?
It's few.
Very few, right?
Yes.
And you can go. But I used to go like Shane. I used to go to South Africa, do autograph signing.
Yeah.
Way in London, England, autograph signing. Sydney, Australia, autograph signing. Tokyo, Japan, autograph signings.
Yeah.
Honolulu, Hawaii, autograph signings.
Yeah.
And he knew me like it was yesterday.
Would your father, Ron Simmons asked me this about 6 months ago about our mothers, because you know, Ronnie and I broke in together at UWF, and his mother's my mother's his mother, same person.
Call them both mamas.
Yeah, both mamas. And he turned around in the car and he said, if your mom was still here, would she understand what we're doing today, going and getting paid for our autograph? I went, no. She would say to me, why do they want your autograph?
Yeah.
It's, would your dad have understood?
Oh yeah, my man, I think he would have understood that. You mean like, because I'm still living, so why not go here and get my degree, and then come back and do your wrestling, okay?
Yeah.
He didn't want me to be a SEAL, because he figured he'll lose a son.
Yeah, out of four, dad and two other brothers, there's no chance 100% going into a war.
Right.
All coming home. Very, very small.
You won't be coming home at all.
You'll be the body bag.
Okay, so you be a body bag.
Yeah.
You be at home, but you be in a body bag.
And there's no father or mother that can live with that.
Right. So go ahead and do what you really enjoy.
Right.
And then I started really hustling in it, right? Mm-hmm. And I could see my mama whenever I wanted to.
Yeah.
See my brothers whenever I wanted to. See my old man had already checked out, okay? And I went over to see his grave, like, I mean, you don't know how many times that grave Shane brought me to fucking tears,
sure.
man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean,
His parents.
It brought me right down.
And I'm guessing a part of it, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I want to verify or deny this in whichever way. Again, I think I know your dad because probably very similar to my dad.
Yeah.
Hard-working and honest.
Right, hard work.
Yeah.
Work their ass off.
No time to sit down and watch TV for an hour. We got stuff to do.
Right, there's something to do.
And after a lifetime of that, you know, we saw our dads wear down. You know, these supermen wear down. And I know in my dad's case, he did not want that for me. He believed in hard work, and he believed everybody should go to hard work. But he didn't want his son, his only son, to be broken down, banged up, hurt, having put all that time in to make somebody else money, in my dad's case, the railroad, and then, be the ripe age of 60 years old and being an old sawhorse.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't want that for us.
Why make money for yourself?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that money and you never know what else can come from that, you mean?
Yeah.
How many guys you go in there and made a half-ass living, you mean?
Well, in this business especially.
Right.
When you stop and think about the thousands that we've known over the years.
Yeah.
A relative small handful of those, you could probably put in a single box the names of the people out of those thousands that both made a career of it and thrived in it.
Right.
Could actually make a living and feed their families and everything. There's no guarantee in this business, right? It's not like something come along, okay, Mike, you're 3 years in now, you got a guaranteed check for life. It's not that. So, again, I think our father's looking at that and thinking, down here in West Virginia, you can go to the coal mines and get black lung, whatever. All my dad's breathing that asbestos and get lung cancer. And your dad's, what was his work outside of the military?
Oh man, outside the military, He was just a good old father, man.
Yeah. But what was his career outside of, once he came home from the war?
When he came from the war, my old man put like 25 years in the military.
Yeah.
He was like
So he's a career guy.
career guy.
Yeah.
And both my brothers, career guys.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't see it like, that wasn't my action to be a career Navy SEAL.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I wanted to like,
Which at that time was the family business, basically.
yeah, that was a family thing right there.
Yeah.
You make a career in the military.
Yeah.
When I went and I seen the wrestling on it and I got involved in it, I wanted to make a career in that.
Yeah.
I liked it, man.
Sure. My dad, yeah, we loved it. I mean, my dad
didn't like it, they loved it.
My dad was no uncertain words. He did not want me, because time I was a senior in high school, it was the selective service, right? It became a volunteer military. And my dad said, you swear to me, you're never going to sign up for it. If they draft you, that's one thing. But he never wanted me going to sign up. Not that I was going to. I was college and then wrestling came into being. But I know in no uncertain terms, my dad did not want me serving in the military because he thought he didn't want me to see the things he had seen. Endure the things they endure.
Right. He endured a lot of things, man.
But by the same token, I'm curious because, again, our dads are the same person.
Right.
My dad never understood the use of the stage name, Shane Douglas. He always thought that I was embarrassed of my name, and he didn't. And I would explain it to him. He didn't get it. Did your dad ever say that? Like, why are you not Mike Jones? Why are you Virgil now? Like, are you ashamed of your name? Did he ever say that to you?
See, but my old man really didn't shame. My old man never really got to see it.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I was in like the 10th grade. I was still in like high school.
When he passed away.
Right.
Oh, okay.
He never got to see it.
Yeah.
Only one got to see it was my mother.
Yeah.
And both my brothers.
Yeah.
They got to see that.
Yeah.
See, Mike Jones turned to Virgil.
Yeah.
Soul Train Jones.
Right.
Benson.
Yeah.
Okay? And they fucking loved it, man.
Really? See, my mom rarely watched because she thought when I was a young white meat baby face and I'd be getting beaten up, she thought it was real. Like, oh, okay. So the last show she ever came to was the Golden Dome pay-per-view. My family had all the landers. They could go anywhere they wanted to get a hot dog, whatever seat, VIP area. And my mother left about halfway through my match, the main event with Bam Bam. And afterwards, I asked her where she went. She tried to give me where I was getting tired. But then some couple of years later, she said, don't ever ask me to go again. And I said, Mom, he's not really beating me up. We're playing.
Hey.
She didn't get that.
I had a match with Hogan. Okay? And I had Hulk and Full Nelson. I brought him over to my mother. I said, smack that shit out of him. Hulk went down right there. He ducked. And she smacked me. When she smacked me, I took a whole backflip into the stands.
Yeah.
Looked like, made her like she was King Kong.
She wasn't mortified that she hit her kid?
Yeah, he does a duck, but he gave her a wink, you know, and he gave a duck right here, and then she smacked the shit out of me. I wanted to make her look like she was fucking Queen of the Jungle.
Yeah.
I took a whole backflip up like that, Shane. My feet went over my head into the stands.
Let's back up a little bit here. So you've decided to be a wrestler, and you've got your high school years behind you, some college behind you. And now, what was the avenue into wrestling? What door opened for you to get into wrestling? What was your pathway into wrestling?
My pathway into wrestling is like getting into wrestling. Why not? Me and Ted.
Yeah, but before that, getting into wrestling.
Oh, why did I get into it?
How did you get into wrestling? I got in because I knew Dominic and trained through Dominic and he opened doors. Who was your pathway into the business?
Okay, my pathway into the business was Tony Atlas. Mm-hmm. Okay, he introduced me to Rick Martel. Mm-hmm. and then Tito Santana,
Right.
and then they introduced me to other people. And then I said, man, I gotta learn this damn business.
Yeah.
So Tony Atlas gave Jerry Lawler a call.
Yeah.
And Jerry said, yeah, I like to have him down here. So he sent me out to Memphis, Tennessee. And I was tagged up with Rocky Johnson. And me and Rock won the titles out there. You know what I mean? And I didn't know. Tony had told Vince to watch out for me.
Yeah.
And we rolled from there, man.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
once you get into the business, you had Soul Train Jones thing, which was sort of take off like Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
Great body. How long in the business before WWE came calling?
When I was in the business, they probably came about 3 years.
3 years. And how was the character pitched to you? Because at this time, this is an unknown character. It's a new character.
The character was I was bodyguard for
$1 Million Man.
Ted DiBiase. They called him the $1 Million Man. Okay? And I had to learn this business right here.
Yeah.
And the only way you can learn it is to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you didn't do it, how are you going to learn it?
When you finally, the character and the connection between $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and the vignettes, I remember all the vignettes and you putting the money in making people do things they wouldn't otherwise do. A great launch to the character.
Yeah.
Working with Ted, 'cause I never had the pleasure. What was the dynamic? Like when I had Francine at ringside, we had an unspoken language that when I would say something or give her a certain cue, she would know to take the audience attention or take center stage, give me a break, and seamlessly work through that. That developed over time. Us working together for months, traveling in the car, talking, teaching. But then she finally grasped it. You can see her grabbing it and suddenly she's creating her own stuff here. How was Ted first working with?
Oh, Ted was a good guy, man. A great guy. Not only a great guy, a great worker.
Oh yeah.
He showed me how to throw punches and connect.
Yeah.
Okay, how to do on kicks.
Yeah.
How to do on drop kicks. Anything you want to do outside of the ring.
Right.
Even when it came off like balcony steps and shit like that.
Right.
He said, don't do that because you might get really hurt.
Right.
And when you get really hurt, you can't do nothing in the ring then.
Yeah, you can't help him.
Yeah, you
if
can't
you're
help.
off the roster.
Yeah, you can't do that because you're hurt.
Yeah.
And we said, why not do things that make sense?
How much of the match, like I said, with Francine, it became a nice tool for me. Like what I'm, the AEW arena was always blazing hot. Middle of August, you're sucking wind.
Yeah.
I knew that I could not worry about handing Franny the match for 2 or 3 minutes, and she knew what to do before she'd hand it back. How long was the learning curve with Ted? Like, what was the process? Day one, you're meeting Ted DiBiase today for the first time. You're going to the ring tonight. How much did he expect of you? What was he telling you to do?
Okay, so what Ted
function of that?
Ted helped me out so much in the locker room, from your punches to your kicks. He could sometimes show me in the shower how to wrap someone around and drop them right there on their head like that, from the back to back with someone.
Yeah.
He showed me that right in the shower. You know what I mean? You can't beat that, man. Yeah. He's one of the best teachers you can have. You know? Yeah. They show you stuff like right after matches, right before matches. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's a real good teacher, man.
I became aware of Ted through the magazines before we could actually see Ted wrestling before he went to WWF. So when he finally showed up there with the $1 Million gimmick, by that stage of my career or my life, I don't know if I was in the business just yet or was just going to be breaking into the business. But I remember, like, to me, it was a bit of a disappointment because I had heard, having come through UWF, I had heard about this technician, this incredible wrestler, and once he became a $1 Million Man, he was still exhibiting some of that, but he was also putting like an equal amount of time into the character.
Yeah, you play
gimmick of the character. And so, so for me, and I in hindsight looking back, I realized he was a little bit older then, and probably couldn't go like he could 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
But he was still a compelling character. This is the time when we see wrestling go from blue collar, 9 to 5
to white collar,
blue collar, no collar. There were doctors and lawyers and teachers, steel workers and unemployed people, bums. Everybody was in wrestling there. When we came into the business, we didn't realize it at the time.
We draw them like bedbugs.
But my God, the freaking crazy numbers, it just exploded, right? With the three companies, ACW, WCW, and WWF, the whole business just went boom and just kept growing.
It kept growing and growing and growing.
Yes.
They can't do nothing like that no more.
No, it's, and we really were the beneficiaries of it because we were just coming in as fresh faces in the industry that it exploded. Was there ever a time with the $1 Million Man gimmick and the Virgil and Vincent gimmick of splitting you guys off and maybe working together, against each other, putting you with somebody else that may be swerving Ted? Was there ever any thought beyond the valet manager role?
But Vince told me when I first went in there, he said me and Ted will be together for like about 9 years, and then there's a battle against each other for 2 years, and then you versus Ted for the $1 Million belt.
Yeah. And what happened with that?
I won that match. The $1 Million belt.
But it didn't go 3 years. It didn't go 3 years.
It was about a year.
Yeah.
And then we Hulk got me down in WCW.
Yeah. When there's that amount of time put into this group, Virgil and $1 Million Man, in a fairly high spot on the card, second main event, upper card, to see it break off and then go to the next phase of what this relationship is going to be. It could be a new chapter for valet manager wrestler. It could be a new chapter of manager versus wrestler. There were a lot of things, a lot of ways to go with that. I always thought, because the amount of time that they had put into the gimmick itself, that this should be that it should be a protracted end, right? That there should be some afterbirth to this because there was so much pre-birth.
Right, because they tried to use his kid at first.
Yeah.
I mean, during the time, his son Teddy Jr. Didn't work out at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
there wasn't no time there.
No, no time there. That's the time like me and his father put in.
Right, of course. And it's big, because think about it. You guys, how long were you guys together from start to finish?
Probably about 8 years.
Okay, so 8 years to let's say, because Vince used to always aim for what he called those tweeners, that 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah.
To a 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old, 8 years of watching these two guys do this together. That's an eternity.
Yeah.
Think back to when you were a kid and you had a birthday or Christmas.
Right.
And now you wait another year. We got 8 years of this.
We got 8 years of it.
Yeah.
That's eternity.
So those kids have grown up.
They watch you and they love you. And
in their mind, Virgil and Ted DiBiase
like this
are a link in the chain.
Yeah, we're like a trailer hooked to the tractor.
Yeah.
And it's getting pulled on the highway at 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and this is also a time, and I'm not even sure if you even know this, at this stage is when we start to see the WWF go into the Attitude Era and segueing to something else. When I had gone up there in '95, what I noticed immediately was Jim Ross and Vince at every TV taping, because that's where they were always at the tapings, would come to me at different times and ask me a million questions about ECW. Why the barbed wire? Why this? Why that? You know. And I was on to this.
ECW.
Yeah, it's not about the barbed wire. It's not about the stop sign. It's not about fighting in the audience. It's about in the midst of all that chaos, the champion's a wrestler. That's all the seasoning on the steak. The steak is the champion. But Vince never once said to me the letters ECW. He would say things like, hey, when you were in the bingo hall company, when you were in the minor leagues, the small pond, the blood and guts company, I don't know if he knew or not how much that was pissing me off, because we had done something special there.
He would use a name.
Yeah.
Like ECW.
Right.
WCW.
Yeah.
He wouldn't use a name.
Yeah.
Okay? His name, he puts his own name in there.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is around the time that you intend to reach that 8-year mark, there's this sudden shift in the company away from sports entertainment to what they call the Attitude Era now, replicating or trying to replicate what ECW did. Did that have anything to do with the fact that you and Ted didn't get that major blow off, that last chapter of that gimmick?
I don't know what the last chapter came, because like, Hope was getting me a contract over with to go down with WCW, and he wanted to do the whole NWO, and I said, we bring old Ted down with you.
Yeah.
Okay? So, because I got a picture, and I got right in that suitcase over here of the NWO, and Ted DiBiase is right in the picture.
Yeah.
One of the members of the NWO.
I don't recall that.
I got it right here.
So how long was Ted in the NWO?
No, it was like right on the picture. I should look over and see. I do grab it.
Well, we can get it after we're done filming here. There's so many, at that time, because of the three companies, there were so many people going this way, this way, this way. There was all these inner shifts of people here.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're here. My recollection, you tell me if I'm wrong, is that Ted was in WCW for a brief time and then ended up back in WWF, or E.
I think when he left out of WCW, I don't know if did he go back? I don't know. I think he just disappeared for like a couple of years. Right?
Was this the time that he started doing the preaching?
Yeah, more went toward like preaching or whatever you want to call it. You know?
Right, yeah.
And I don't know what they're trying to get him on a lot of, maybe because his son did something.
Yeah.
Nothing that Ted did.
Yeah.
His kid did.
Yeah. It's a mess because Teddy was always, in my head anyway, one of those guys that was the upper tier wrestler. Right. He didn't go out there. Yes, senior. He wasn't the guy to go out there and jump off a balcony.
Right.
Teddy knew how to work.
He could work.
Yeah, work his ass off.
He grabbed a hold and worked his ass through the whole.
And tell the story.
And tell a whole story.
So it seemed like an odd place where, you know, the business, how do I say this? The business gets to a point where you're valuable, but then you reach a certain age or a certain period, and well, you're getting long in the tooth, or you're this and that. It's always seemed strange to me because when we were coming into the business, you know, hitting those late 40s, early 50s was like the money earning time.
Right.
Okay, now we're on top and moving into that. But it seems around that time that when Teddy would have been stepping into that final tier phase, that the business had transformed and went a different direction. But you know, the whole evangelism thing, it's you know, I think there's something that probably played into that. So let's fast forward here. We're obviously at the point, I hate to say it this way because it sounds so sort of direct. We're obviously both of us on the downside of our life ladder.
Yeah, but
There's more behind us than we got ahead of us.
yeah.
So what's next for Virgil?
You can still go around and you can still do interviews, still go do sightings,
Yeah.
and they still know us like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay?
Nostalgia's a powerful
Right,
word.
because we're good workers,
Yeah.
and people still remember the name Virgil. They still remember your name.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay?
We put
And they
time.
never ever going to forget it.
Yeah.
And we made it where they never forget the name Virgil or Sweetback.
Asshole.
Sweetback.
Of course, I appreciate you being here with us.
My pleasure, man.
Our fans.
I love it.
You're like the name that always pops up because they want to hear Mike Jones. They want to.
Yeah.
They want to see that peek behind the curtain.
That's Mike Jones right here.
Yeah.
Right here in living color, even though it got dark. But what the hell?
Appreciate you guys being here. Stay tuned next time for Appalachian Expose. We're having another big star on here. Mike, Virgil, great to have you here with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good seeing you, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
See you next time, everybody.
Okay.